Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the locker room. It's Blakey on deck, Sweetie on the camera. We've got Jay Fott, we've got Big Dougie Hodgson. It's a huge show. Don't be frightened, kids at home. Don't be frightened. This isn't a seance. It is in fact...
What are we doing?
Jay Fott, how are you? And how are you, Dougie?
Good to see Mr. Blake, always a gentleman. I can't really see him, but there's a gleam going on here, mate. Johnny,
what the hell is going on?
I can barely see you over there, Dougie, but...
seriously, what's going on?
Well, look, this is, we're doing a sort of ritual seance type Ouija board.
Don't sneeze. Whatever you do, Joe, don't sneeze. You'll blow them off the table.
We're trying to conjure up some sort of...
Aren't we praying to the spirit?
Mystical spirit to rise up and take the team with it up the ladder.
The question I really have, can we get some lights on now, girls? Because
are we blowing these out or these on?
No, these are apparently it's a particularly important to the whole.
He's like our centre forward, he ain't doing too good, the bloke on the end here, so.
Well, that's this weekend's game against Green Gully. So we've
10
got
candles, 10
candles for 10 games.
Oh, there you are, we're back.
The question I've got for you out there and to you two guys, have you ever been screwed? And I'll ask you that because in relation to this season in the Victorian Premier League, Heidelberg United, I'm about to say it, I'm preparing it now, I'm making the call, Heidelberg United are dead meat. We are not eating this, it's full of salmonella. Heidelberg United and Alexander are screwed. And we've brought along, I'm prepared to argue the toss with both of you if you wish.
It's not over the fat lady.
I am making the call.
How many games are left?
10
games. 10 games, which means when I went to school, 30 points. Am I right?
Sounds good.
I'll get the calculator because you can't be trusted on these sort of issues. But the point being, Jay Fott, which is wonderful, has brought along the 10 prayer candles to pray to whichever God you may feel appropriate to try and save Heidelberg United and Alexander, or Lexia and Drossel. No, don't even bother.
I thought these were for heat. It's pretty cold in here, so we're going to brought the fire in.
I have brought along this funeral urn, in which I will deposit the ashes of a once great club at the end of this year. Now, I don't want to offend anybody. In fact, I love offending people. But I don't want to offend Heidelberg United Alexander supporters and you, Jay Fott, and you, Dougie, who fought so proudly for the club, which is a bit of a joke given what I had learned from Ivan Kellich today. I'll tell you about that a little bit. By fighting, I mean.
Miss you like that, mate. Ivan, haven't seen you for a long time. Hope you're well, mate. It'll be good to see you.
According to Ivan Kellich, you used to lift your skirt and squeal like a girl. But anyway.
They're just rumours, guys. Don't stress. I'm not going to threaten anyone on here. It's just rumours.
But we have a huge game coming up on the weekend, and that will be on the iPod, the J-Pod, the what do you call it?
On the iNet.
On the iNet, we'll be broadcasting.
We're here live on Sunday. Happy days, we're back again.
It'll be fantastic.
Now, I seen this bloke go off like a firecracker. Sweetie sent me a little, whatever it was, came through on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And there was this bloke, I know he was a Greek gentleman, scored a goal and like he'd won the lottery. So we've been voted to see if we can better if we score a goal, that is, by the way, guys. If we score a goal, that's the big thing. If we score a goal, I'm going to go off. So if you're going to watch us on Sunday and we get a goal, listen to the commentating because I'm going to go off like a firecracker.
And certainly when Doug goes off, the whole world knows about it. Just ask his missus.
Love you, darling. You've been watching
Boost Juice, isn't it?
Now, what I want, it is very much like Boost Juice. Very, very symbolic. Well, shall we do that? How about you go through the sponsors, Jay Fott, and then we'll have a talk about what's to come this weekend.
The ANZ, and they had put on a great show for us a couple of weeks ago there with Josie and her team at the ANZ Bank in Northland.
Good job. The food was nice too, Johnny.
Fantastic.
Food was nice there for nipples.
Petter suspension.
Out at Heidelberg Heights.
Bounced all the way over to Northland, we did.
We did with our suspension in good nick.
Boost Juice, of course, which gave us the energy to get through such a
passionate way to get there, wasn't it? It was very passionate in that room on our own.
Bit of boost, bit of burn, bit of boost.
What about chimneys?
Hey, hey, got
chimneys. Gotta love chimneys.
He goes a bit of chocolate. He goes a bit of chocolate.
And prime plastic bags.
Billy P coming at you.
All the rubbish that we...
You know what, though?
You
know, JP, you know what Billy done? Well, you don't know this, but you remember when I was in the ANZ Bank?
What did he do?
We've got enough wages for the team for a year. So do you worry where the money's coming from, guys? Doogie Howser.
Should we be
no, right to do so. Oh, sorry, that's on there, sorry.
Kenny Live.
Thanks to ANZ, of course.
Fantastic.
Megas Hum, which is not a lot of that these days. Black Swan Dips,
which is fan.
We've had a dip.
And the Froster Group.
And the Froster Group. Let's get
with
serious.
some of these Heidelbergers out there would have a dip.
It's good that you've got...
You like
I just want to show
face?
you good folks at home. Doug, so we challenged Doug this week to write every particular thought he had about any particular issue in the world to put them on posters so we can have a look at the end of the week and see what actually goes through the mind of Doug Hodgson. That's it. Okay, that's it.
Did you not notice that, though? Did you not
And
notice?
all it is a veiled sexual reference.
Did you see that, though?
No, please don't.
Oh, look.
All right, let's get to...
Look, it's a eyes, nose and smiling
No, it's
face. I'm
fantastic.
smiling.
We'll put that on the fridge when we get home.
Okay.
Now, use your big boy talk now. We've got to talk about what's happening with Heidelberg United, Alexander. I know you've
3
got
games,
a lot
I believe.
A lot of team news. But look, here's the thing. We had this discussion off air. But to be honest with you, and the reason I'm being so just distracted and so disappointed about Heidelberg United, Alexander, is very simply, I went through the math tonight, Jay Fott. Now, even if every result this weekend goes to Heidelberg United and Alexander's favour, that is to say, Bentley Greens beat Richmond, Dandenong Thunder beat Hume, Melbourne Knights beat Moreland, Heidelberg beat Green Gully in our broadcast game, and Oakley beat South Melbourne. The situation, even if all those results go the right way, get your head around this, okay? Heidelberg will still be 4 points away from relegation safety. They'll be on 8 points. Zebs will be on 11, Richmond will be on 12, and the next will be on 15 plus points. So the fact of the matter is, they are looking down a long, deep, dark tunnel. And I know we had the discussion that it's still mathematically possible, but I am absolutely...
I'm with you. I can feel your dark panel, and I can see the barrel as well, mate. But I'll tell you now, it's a long, dark tunnel, and I tell you what, these boys, even with the great signings that we can go on to later on, mate,
really
it's still a real big ask to go. I believe that the matter of the day is they've got to put a run together, and the run's got to be 3 or 4 games on the bounce. You know, I haven't looked through totally who they've got on the run, because no doubt there's going to be a win, guys. If you draw, win, they need to win. Realistic for this to happen, 3 or 4 on the bounce, and let's be fair, at the moment,
Can't see it happening.
can't see it happening with you, Blake. I'll jump on the shoulder there and agree with you there, mate. But anything's possible, as we know in the game.
Anything is possible. And I do not
And
want...
by the way, guys, you're saying that we want us to do it. But realistically, reality check.
I'm just trying to be really, really practical about this. It's such a big ask, and as we were talking about
Do you think it's
before,
signing David
mathematically,
Beckham? Any chance?
I don't think there's any hope of them staying alive, Jay Fott, but I know that you are firmly of the belief.
What are you going, Johnny? Where are we going to get the wins?
I made the comment, and far greater minds than mine will know where and if the wins are coming.
If there are far greater minds than yours watching this right now, there's something particularly wrong with the world. Because if you're watching this...
I made the point.
Sweetie thinks it's going to happen.
No team in the VPL has been relegated with 24 points or more. So that's going to be the first target.
Which is 20 points. They're on 5 at the moment.
20 points out of the next 30 has got to be the bare minimum target.
How many?
And 20 points out of the next 30. So that's 6 wins and 2 draws.
No amount of Red Bull, amphetamines, or David
Not
Beckham's.
even my bag.
Yeah.
My bag.
That's got to be a target. And as I said to Blakey off air, if you're a coach and you're taking on the role as George has now, so late in the piece and with the team in pretty much in disarray, unless you've got the confidence within yourself that you can do it,
I done it at Frankston.
it's very hard
Pines.
to sell the message.
I done it at Frankston Pines in half a season, and we missed out. If I'd had one more game, we ran out of games. My aim was to get them off the bottom, which we did for I think it was about 3 hours, and then South played and they went and topped us again. But we ran. So it is. Listen, it is doable.
It's possible.
It is doable.
It's going to be nearly possible.
But I'll have to admit, Johnny, there's your neck there, Blake. You're right. Don't get
That's
whiplash.
fantastic.
But the thing is,
this is actually the most engaging conversation I've heard
everyone here are beatable. Bar Thunder, you probably put, Thunder.
Who got absolutely routed at the weekend, by the way.
Well, did they?
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
absolutely.
I've been back on my painkillers. You remember that? It's been great. I've done me back.
Look quickly.
But that's it. Hang on, let me go back to Thunder.
Sorry,
What was the score?
2-1.
2-1 against Sun Stars.
So what we're going, by the way, here is we just proved that anyone is beatable. Because there it is, fat lady can sing. Let's see, like you said, I like the figures in there, guys. Can we do it? We need you guys to get your butt down.
I am so amped right now, Doug. Oh, Lex and us! Oh, Lex and us!
We need read them here, Blakey.
I was wrong! What could I have been thinking? Let's go through the weekend results of round 12 of the Victorian Premier League. It was Hume City 1, Melbourne Knights 2, Oakley Cannons 3 over Heidelberg United 2, and you're going to tell us a little bit about that game, Jay Fott. Richmond Northcote, I haven't got a result there, have I? 0-0. Green Gully, of course, beat Bentley Greens 2-0. Green Gully, our opponents this weekend, and I say our because I am back on the freaking bandwagon.
Come on, Blakey!
Sorry, nearly spat my teeth.
That's right.
Southern Stars over Dandenong Thunder in a huge upset 2-1, and of course the Moreland Zebras, who are improving every week, 2-2 against South Melbourne. Dougie, have a quick look at the ladder.
I have to admit, I think Moreland, I know the game could have been over when we played, and it was a disappointment, but I have to admit, Zebras impressed me. Moreland, I think they've just got just a new sign. He's off the ground, Grant Brebner. He's gone over to Moreland. Brebs is signed over there. Obviously, he was a target for him. There was conversations went, by the way, with the two clubs, with Brebs and here. So I like what we see there. So let's be fair, we've got Dandy up top at 27, mate. We've got Oakley Cannons on 23, Northcote 21, Bentley Greens on 19. Also Green Gully at 19, 18 Southern Stars have moved up there quite comfortably now. Hume dropping a little bit at 17, South Melbourne, don't laugh you guys out there at 15. Melbourne Knights equal on 15, Richmond at 12, coming there to the old day. Charts, the old Heidelberg boy, maybe a bit little nibbling in there. Moreland at 11, and unfortunately for us boys down there, guys, on 5. So
now, you have me, Blakey, what's left of me, DH, Dougie Hodgson, Jay Fott, and of course, Sweetie behind the camera. This is the locker room. It is Thursday night on the eve, on the cusp, if you will.
Cold.
Huge, it's very, very cold. On the cusp of it. Don't reach across me.
he wants his notes, mate. I'm keeping his notes. I'm having his notes.
We show once again, showing all the professionalism of SBS television. Les Murray, my very good buddy out there.
I love you, Les.
Oh, God, love you. Oh, what's that, stinky meat? Sorry, there was a correlation there somehow. What the hell am I talking about? Now, Jay Foote, this is the point.
You
step in and tell us why
we're going to do
it.
Oh, George,
you spun a compelling argument before, and I'm opening the ash can as we speak.
I'm keeping the lid on that.
No,
he's got a script right.
Yeah, good in there.
No, don't yet.
Don't try that hard, George.
It's luckily it's not a total 5 band, mate.
Five in there.
Just want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, thanks again to the ANZ for a great night a couple of weeks ago. And get your
Alan Scott card. Need Alan Scott
card down there.
Sweetie, you got yours on you?
Before I go into it, I want to pay tribute to a gentleman and his family that we held a tribute night last Saturday night down at Thornbury at the Floridian House to George and Christine Beniscus. Now, George was the very first president of this great club, way back in 1958. And I had the privilege to be amongst those at the Floridian House last Saturday, and he's a true legend of the club. And his entire family were down there, and his granddaughter gave a great speech, and there was a lot of dignitaries down there. And it's people like George who still to this day help out down the club, and his wife's here every weekend helping out at the canteen, that make up the fabric of this great club. So,
and speaking of the fabric of the club, George, fantastic. And just before you do, I know we're going to get to the reasons why we're going to survive in just a moment. We're going to do Timmy's Prime Plastic Bags, Boost, of course. Feel free to chime in and say how great our sponsors
they're
are.
all fantastic.
Northland ANZ, which were fantastic. Petters at Heidelberg Heights. Canisi Live.
And my mate, well then we made the bag, mate. Billy?
Yeah, Billy. Prime Plastic Bags. Mega Sun Soul, the Frosted Group, and Black Swan Dips. Double thumbs up. Think if our sponsors, if our players were as committed and passionate as our sponsors, we wouldn't be in this position now.
We wouldn't be sitting down here, would we?
No, we would not. Now, why are we going to survive?
Well,
make this compelling.
I was going to say,
this is going to be good.
A man like George Katsakis, who's now come back to the club in its hour of need.
And we'll be on the show, by the way. We'll be on the show next week. We'll
and hopefully we'll get him on Fatini's porn couch as well.
Right.
Thanks to that, yeah.
But I was going to say, a man like George, you would think, would not take the job up if he didn't think that it can be done, number one. Number two, if he's brought in some new players, which we'll talk about soon, and with those signings, hopefully he can shore up the back line. with a couple of new signings in the middle and a new one up front.
How many signings is that then, Johnny?
We've had 4 players now.
5?
4 or 5 now if you include Christian Sarkis, of course.
Sarki's back, guys.
So-
As we know, like a whippet.
And of course there's also the young lad Ibrahim as well.
Where is Ibrahim? Do we know where he is?
scored last week.
Good to see.
So even though
Good to
it
see
looks
he's back.
grim and we've lost 2 in a row since we were last here with you guys, things could look up
So
this
what we're
weekend.
saying, this
It's
week is a
amazing.
different side we're going to see out there for the viewers.
Well, it's going to be a totally different side because you're going to have all these new players that are now available and hopefully will turn things around. Now, you'd think they might take some time to gel as a team, but if ever they needed to win, this week is it. That's against an old foe, Green Gully.
And don't forget, the match will be live, of course, on your internet, on your television. So it'll be porn sites down, whatever this email address is. What is it? What is it, sweetie? What the hell is
We
it?
see that on the sign, please.
Get your hand off your drumstick.
On the
That is not a
drums, you just give
metaphor.
us
Get your
bomb,
hand off
bomb,
your
bomb.
drumstick.
What about the
Where
players?
do we go if we want to see this weekend's game?
HUFC.tv. No, HUFC.com.au. And it's got the links.
HUFC.com.au for this weekend's game. It's 3 o'clock here at the Olympic Village, the historic... don't touch me
We'll
like
be
that.
there.
I'm
We'll be
aroused in ways
We'll
you'll
be
never
there.
understand right
We'll
now.
be there together.
3 o'clock at the Olympic Village. I really am. 3
It's been a while for Bucky.
I told you, it's been
Any of you viewers out there, mums are on the rail. Like he said, he needs
3
to
o'clock on Sunday at the Olympic Village. It'll be Heidelberg United's last stand. Remember Custer at the Little Bighorn?
This is the big one, mate.
Got screwed.
Yes.
Remember Blakey in the last 10 years of his life did not get screwed.
Going for a rough. Going for a bit of a rough patch.
See, we're working blue now, and I shame it myself.
This
I do
is,
apologise if we've got any young viewers.
This will be shown after 9:30, so it doesn't matter.
It's okay. So,
Yeah.
but what about the players, though,
Oh, hang on, I've found
Blakey?
your brain cells, right?
What about the players we've lost?
Let's talk about the
Okay.
player changes, please.
Player changes, okay. We
Who's
want to talk
gone?
about who's gone. Gone, Evan Christodoulou. Up to Oakley.
In the Ashes.
Hang on, there's one.
Gone.
Bring in the ashes.
Gone,
Gone.
promising young player Andrew Naboot to Moreland.
Morland's
Didn't
on
need
the
him.
line.
Gone.
And midfielder
Oh, Andy Bazikis is in there.
Nick Toulis is also gone.
Who's gone?
Nick Toulis, gone back to Northcote.
Gone.
So those 3 definitely gone.
Okay.
But on the flip side,
I was hoping there was a
we've got
Well, no, Blakey, I'm in a bit of trouble here because I've got no notes left.
2 players making a return.
Yes, terrible prediction.
Stints to the Bergers. Defender James Stefanu comes across from Northcote City,
And we welcome him.
and we welcome him.
We do welcome him.
Returning for a 3rd stint
The drums
at the
are on.
club, striker Nick Marinos from Richmond.
We
Mr.
welcome him.
Marino's gone. Come back.
We welcome
There was always a report that he was going to come back.
We talked about that. It was on the rumour file.
On the rumour file, remember you heard it live here with me, Blakey,
And
Johnny, remember.
to add to Christian Sarkis, of course, we've got 2 new signings. A new centre-back, Trevor Agim, who
Overseas from Colchester.
Colchester, very good, Dougie. You've done your research on that. He's a centre-back, I believe.
Not too
And
bad.
Zane Sol, a Kiwi boy who's played in the under-20s.
Only one belt for a Kiwi.
And
Give him 3.
he's a midfielder, creative player, from what
And-
I believe. So hopefully a bit of creativity there in the middle of the
This
park
is what we
with Sarkis.
needed, and there is still more. Hopefully,
Still more to come, Dougie. Yes, I believe.
there is still working on. Which
So-
the ones that Georgie's trying to get are overseas.
So-
I'm just trying to battle out to see.
So you actually know more than you let on, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
That's why he doesn't write it on the notes, does he?
I can't write.
That's all I
Because,
That's all I need.
He
But
doesn't.
listen,
No
as you guys know, Blakey, I've been with the club. I've
You
been
did get a script writer, didn't you?
Has he been right?
Has anybody been watching the locker room since
Can I just say,
inception?
we weren't here last week, were
I
we?
was convinced, don't touch me, I was convinced for the first 3 weeks when I was working alongside J4 that I'd actually met the first person without a personality at all.
I've had a
Look
transplant.
at how our little
I've had a
boy's
transplant.
grown up.
Again, I want to say, how professional is he?
I know, right?
Yes, on
We don't have to do anything. Jake's on the short show, baby.
Oh, you put that on your...
Oops, I've lost us again,
Hang on,
mate.
I'll get him back. Hang on,
Would you?
I'll get him back.
I was just
All right.
going to point out, we weren't here last week, and I want to dispel a rumour.
No trouble,
Okay.
mate.
Dougie,
Yes.
you listening, Dougie?
Yes.
The rumour was the reason why we weren't here last week was because Sweetie was ODing on the still knocks, and he slept in.
And he slept in.
That's
after
not
a big
true.
night.
Well, someone
Give yourself a bang on the drum now, smarty pants.
Sweetie's done his back and he's handed on
It
the
was
knee. He's not going to go today.
editing the show, and he fell asleep.
Hey, by the way, Blakey, our band's
We're all
also...
very tactile tonight.
Hey,
We just
it's
like Bob and Carol and Tim
what's
Allen.
the rumour though? Sweetie last
Don't talk
week...
over the top of me.
Sweetie last week done his back.
I know.
But
don't know
he
how.
couldn't come.
How?
Well, that's not Blakey, don't know much about that.
Bertini's porn cows
But what we're
claims
saying
another
is-
victim.
The Pettis
What we're
suspension
saying
wasn't
is,
working
though-
on it, was it?
I've done my back today. Where am I?
You're here.
Doug, you're right there, baby.
So,
And we wouldn't have it any other way. I know. How do you
At the
define
end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're all here in a
Redefine
happy
it.
family. Sweetie's giving high fives.
I have no idea what he's talking
Sweetie is
about.
not hard enough. He's even forgotten his tripod tonight.
We've got
go there.
Hey, if I can
That's
show
not
you a
bad.
picture, guys, the tripod is a trophy without the head. There's a plaque name down there. Sweetie, can we have some names what that trophy belongs to? No, obviously not.
All right.
Anyway,
Now, just in case you just tuned in, just letting you know that Pandemonium Rome, Sweetie's on a drum tonight, which is extraordinary. Don't do it again. We are burning candles, 10 symbolically, in the hope that we can get 10 really, really good results in the back half of the year. Heidelberg United, Alex.
Already
Let's
blown-
give it a big one. No, we haven't blown anything. Oh, let's go.
Already played one
you know what, Gene, we're going with the headache
I
tonight.
know. And this is why young people shouldn't drink alcohol.
Still knocks.
Still knocks and alcohol do not mix, just Sweetie. And of course we are reserving this to put the ashes of the club into if and when they get relegated at the end of this year. And this is the stinky meat on a stick that represents all the bad results so far this year. It's also coated with salmonella.
So we've gone through, Blakey.
have.
We've got 20, JP reckons 20 odd points to survive.
Yep.
We're over halfway, over 30.
Now, here's the bit where we really, really need to have a look at Football Federation Victoria or Soccer Victoria or
How many
Victorian
games
Soccer.
next week?
Now, how about this for Dodgy? Let me just point out two
Thank
things
God,
to
they're
you.
dodgy.
They are really... Look, this is ridiculous that this club next week has a league... Given that they're last on the ladder and in all sorts of trouble, what time... We've got a Wednesday... What is it? Sunday
Sunday
Green
game on
Gully.
Green Gully.
Wednesday night back here against Melbourne Knights in the round 6 knockout cup
And
match.
everybody loves the knockout cup. I mean, that
that's-
has been... Yeah, that has
But
captured
can I
the public
just so people
imagination.
know, though?
Just like
Sorry, mate,
the
sorry.
black
So
frickin'
does
plague.
everyone else play?
Oh no, it's only the teams that are left in the comp.
And how many is there?
This is round 6, so,
Round 6.
so it's before the quarterfinals, so there's only 32 teams left.
And then they have to back up on the Friday in another...
2 days
week.
later,
So we've got on Friday, we're playing,
Richmond
because
away.
they play every Friday, because that's so people turn up, that's the main thing.
So that's 3 games in 5 days.
Back it up, let's see what the fitness is looking
But I
like.
mean, look, it's symbolic of the Victorian Soccer Federation website when we referred to it today to get some preview information about the weekend's games. Apparently Andy Blahos is still the coach of Heidelberg United.
Even though he
Alexander.
signed for South Melbourne today.
Strangely
Signed
enough.
for
So
South
what we'll
Melbourne,
do
yes,
is we'll send out the same message in a most polite way. For God's sake, update your bloody website!
We do, the last three.
Yeah.
We're in.
Speaking of updates, next week's games.
Shall we go through them
We
now?
should.
Okay, let's go through the fixtures at the weekend and we'll tell you the results that we need to give us optimum chance.
Oh, draw.
Other than our game, of course.
Other
Oh,
than
that's
that.
going to be.
Okay,
So Bentley Greens take on Richmond Friday night.
Bentley Greens, we need you to win.
I think they will. I'm tipping, I'm going to give you my votes. Bentley Greens to win.
Northcote City take on Southern Stars.
A draw.
Two informed teams.
we,
Draw.
This Saturday.
I'll go
we need
draw.
Northcote City to win that one.
Possibility.
The Thunder take on Hume City. Saturday night football returns to the Thunderdome.
The Thunder will win that one.
Hopefully, because that would be an excellent result in
Sure.
terms of this fine club.
And the Melbourne Knights on Sunday take on Moreland Zebras.
Need the Melbourne
Draw.
Knights to win.
We need a Melbourne
Draw.
Knights draw. We need a draw, but I'm with, you know what,
Okay,
Blakey?
yep.
I've got a little, hang on, just turn up the chart monitor on this side.
What are you actually doing?
Just turn up the chart monitor. So I reckon Knights will win that.
Okay.
Remember?
Big
Knights will win that.
And of course,
The game that interests us, of course,
The Bergers all the way, need you to get down here,
United,
support
Green
us,
Gully.
please. And if you don't, listen to me and Blakey, we'll be there.
yep, Heidelberg United against Green Gully, 3 o'clock on Sunday at the Village
Get-
on the
get
internet.
down
But,
here.
you know, honestly, Dougie, myself, Jay Fott, well, Jay Fott's an exception because we don't kind of use him on the commentary, but Doug and I are crap commentators, seriously. So if you actually want to come down and no offence, I say that with all due respect.
Mate, I was hoping to get a gig.
I don't
I'm
respect
actually
you
on.
any less
He's got
after
quite a lot.
commentating with you than I did ever before.
Which doesn't
What was my
say much.
point? If you really love the club, if you want to tongue kiss the club, if you would sleep with the club if it was actually a human entity, if you've got it running through your veins like
We have
blood,
black and yellow.
if the hair on the back of your neck stands on end when they score a goal, for heaven's sake, get off your fat ass away from the computer and come down to the village and stand with us and say, "Oh, Alexandros!"
You know what though, guys, on a serious note, and people don't realise this, when you're out there playing, you've got your 11v11 and the crowd, okay, England, Europe, whatever, but here, they can be another player, guys, and you don't actually, you get behind, if you look at the morale and then all of a sudden the crowd gets and you watch the players rise, so you guys, the 12th player, get down here and support us,
Have you
guys.
ever read George Best's autobiography written by Michael Parkinson? And this, no, this is seriously.
George Best, you know.
I probably can't say this,
Yeah,
so I have
yes,
to
you can.
allude to it. But George Best, in his autobiography, said that when he was when he played at Old Trafford in front of a huge crowd in a big game, he would actually run down the tunnel and have it was touch wood. Do you know what I'm saying?
Epiphany.
No, think it through. It's more literal than that. And he actually alluded to the fact that he was aroused in ways that most of us wouldn't understand. And he actually went out on the pitch with those big baggy white shorts, thankfully.
The intellectuals call it an epiphany.
Well, a phallic symbol.
Do they?
I think so.
So when you're with
But I'm not
your wife,
intellectual.
you have epiphanies, do
Hey,
you?
you say phallic symbol. He had a phallic symbol.
He had a... Well, it wasn't a symbol, it was
The
a literal.
tripod.
It was a phallic literal. Anyway, look, now we're working blue again.
Nice
and
try.
And the last
I
game,
think we have
speaking of blue, the all-blue derby.
South Melbourne and Oakley Cannons, and we probably need South Melbourne to lose that one.
Nah, I think Oakley will take him.
Okay.
Oakley will take him.
South have been up and down all season. Maybe.
And new signs, well, I think Oakley will come out with that one, and I think Oakley will take that one. So there's Dougie's tips.
Have I mentioned Chimmy's Prime Plastic Bags Boost, Northland
Doncaster.
ANZ, Petters at Heidelberg Heights, Kinesi Live, Megason Solar, Froster Group, or Black Swan Dips? Because if I haven't,
They're our sponsors, Blake.
they certainly are.
Get right behind them,
Absolutely.
as they do get right behind us.
As they do. I'm not sure who makes this, but seriously, I'm glad they're not sponsoring us because I could not. Now, where are we going with all this stuff? We've done
We've
pretty
got a
much.
hard week.
Oh, I've got a question for you.
Yes,
I've got a
yes.
question for you. This is just a general topic, and I want to put it out there. I watched a couple of games of the European Championships, which was fantastic.
Spain?
The final was fantastic. Yeah,
That's
exactly,
why I
very
said that's
topical.
why I bought me shirt.
The final was fantastic, and the reason it was fantastic was because it was decided on the field of play under the laws of association football. I want to put it out there now.
Not penalties.
Penalty shootout, biggest load of crap I've ever seen. It's the only sport in the world where you play by one set of rules during the game, and then you play by an entirely different set of rules to decide the result if the original result wasn't a result. That makes no sense to me. However, I'm putting it to your expertise.
How would you go
and
though?
your
How, like, look at for AFL. We use AFL.
extra time golden goal the way they used to, instead of bowing to the demands of television by
So
saying
you-
we have to have a package finished in a certain time.
You know
You
what,
play till you score a freaking goal.
That's not, you know what?
Sorry.
And that,
What if it takes 5 hours?
Well, who cares?
And who cares? You
But
just
like Blakey saying,
come back the next day?
no, don't come back. You just keep going because eventually they'll collapse. One bloke won't, and you'll go through and score.
The rules-
So there will be a winner eventually,
How do
Johnny.
you work this out? I'll do an Australian rules
I agree with
equivalent.
you, mate. Like,
An Australian rules equivalent. It finishes level.
It's the
These
Iron
are
Man
laws.
competition.
It's the laws of the game.
All right,
You
well,
play by the laws of association football, and then you. So we didn't get a result, so we're going to play a different game entirely. It's not the same game. How can you possibly
I
validate?
agree it's unfair, but you've got to love the drama of penalties at times.
Well, I say
don't
no
get
to
taken.
penalties.
As a spectator, it's so dramatic. I agree there's got to be a better way, but surely you'd think
Well,
someone would
hang
come up
on,
with a
hang
better
on.
way.
Let's think about it. These players are athletes, right? That's what they are. They are athletes. Let's see how athletic they are. You played 120 minutes of football. You played your extra time. Hey, let's keep going. Let's see how good you are. Let's see how fit you are, how mentally
But see,
strong you are.
this is how
Not
television.
the easy
this
way.
is how television dominates the landscape.
It's
We
like-
need a tight package in 120 minutes. If it's not over, we decide it by some crap method. Crap method. That's all I've got.
I'm with Blake. And
But the
guys,
rules-
viewers, love to see us We've had a couple of people text that came into us, email us. Make sure you can. Want your opinion, guys? Like to know your opinion about how else could we do it. I've actually, in Blakey, when we've all gone, let's just see how good you are. Strength, passion, desire, ability, drive. It's a tough mother competition of soccer. Can you get to the
Just
end?
on the side note,
You're really sexy.
what did you guys think of the fact that Spain won without really playing too many recognised strikers? Do you think it upset them at all? Or, I mean, obviously not, but...
I would have thought 4-0 would probably suggest they weren't too
but the
perturbed.
point is,
It shows the depth, the depth of the
what does
country.
that say about where their football is at the moment? I mean, are they that much better than everyone else? Or?
European, world, European, I'm
You
pretty
know
happy
what,
with that.
I'll go
I
on
think they're
this.
way ahead of me.
I'll go on here.
Because they've been unfairly slated in many quarters.
Spanish. Listen,
Probably by people down in Lygon Street. Not
no,
that I
not
don't like
the-
people down in
Lygon
Lygon
Street,
Street,
but
they're
the
abundantly
Italians-
clear. If you see me
No,
down there, I
listen.
love you.
The game of football's simple. There's 2 goals, you put the ball in the back of the net. It's just how you do it, technically, your movement, your ball. I've watched France for years. You know, you look at the likes of the Real Madrids and the European. I could go and talk about English football, how disappointing. It is the best league in the world, we know that, but England can't put a side together because they're individuals. When you look at the Spanish, and let's be fair, you can't talk about and say, well, English is this way. There's that many Europeans coaching in England anyway.
Yeah.
It's not the English. So the Spanish, well played to them. You know, we've watched, who's my little mate play for? Who's the best in the...
Leo Messi,
Little Messi, who's he play for?
he's an Argentinian.
Who's he play for, though? On the club?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. We got there eventually.
You have
Just wait,
been,
just
yeah,
wait,
that's what we're
just
going to
wait,
talk about. He's just
I went and watched
Dutch
Arsenal
shirt come
play
out.
Barcelona, and I have to admit, it was impressive. It was great football. Arsenal done well, Barcelona were better.
You have been tonight, Doug Hodgson, I'm going on record as saying this, you have been more sparkling, erudite, articulate and thoughtful tonight than you have ever been before. Jay Fott, I hope to be able to say the same about you one day.
Off your breath. That just got me fitty as well.
Snap. Sorry.
So,
Now, let's talk it. Now, we've only got one thing to complete, and it's been an enjoyable journey with you both tonight. I didn't mean you any disrespect.
he did.
I did. We've got the 3 o'clock game on Sunday, Heidelberg United Alexander against Green Gully here at the Village. Dougie, myself, Jay Fott,
I'd like to go on
Sweetie,
record,
Mark on
Greg.
camera.
Alexandros!
Predictable,
What I'd like
but
to
still
say,
good. Yep.
if they can't be there, support us on there with me and you.
Yes, and bang that drum, Sweetie, just one more time. Thank you.
Alexandros!
It's like a freaking 5-year-old, isn't he, really?
Tell you what, he's not bad though. I don't want to be playing the drums.
It's not hard. You grab the stick and hit the drum, idiot. See?
It's not
Even
hard.
you could do
He
that.
is a ringing.
Now,
The young boy wants some drums.
Just a joke.
and he's an attention seeker. Yeah, just quickly, Dougie. Dougie's shirt to round it off for this week. It's been
I'm
a
just going to
fantastic
swing.
show.
I'm not showing me back. I'm just going to so you can see it. It's an
Wait,
original. It's an original. He did his overseas.
And the backstory is...
This one, wife again. Wife, of course, I didn't play for Barcelona, unfortunately. But,
I know, Killer's told me.
He said I was no good. Fully signed shirt for Barcelona. I should start auctioning these off.
You
shouldn't I?
really should.
This
And
one-
auction them for this club.
This
That's
one
what-
actually is for auction. This one, but it's not really. Fully signed, guys. One of the trips my wife done overseas, and
So that really doesn't have a story other than you leech off the good graces of your wife. That's all I've got to say
and I
about
did on that one. But this one's Barcelona. But I did meet him because he was in Liverpool,
Okay.
so I did get to meet the player.
And what
he
did,
did get a
and
sign
he
for me.
spoke to you, did he? What did he say? Get out of the way, fatty, or
He
something
said,
like
"Hey, Slimmy." He says, "Drive down the Feathers, get yourself a boost juice, nick in the ANZ, get some cabbage, and go and get some bags from Billy, me mate, and don't forget chimneys. They've got the bits and pieces, and also we've got one more to go for us. What's it say?
Foster Group.
Foster Group as well.
And if you don't believe me about George Best, read his autobiography, it was a biography rather, written by David, what's his name? Parkinson. Parky, yeah. Fantastic. It's one of the best reads you'll ever have. So we've got all the this.
Don't forget the Swan.
This is going to be. What? Are you
Well, I
talking about?
missed one.
Okay.
One sponsor, Swan Dips. Don't forget to support.
So we've got these two accoutrements, if you will. We've got the prayer candles, which will go out one by one as the season continues on, in the hope that Heidelberg United or Alexandros can rectify the
Like-
season, or we have the ash can in which the remnants of this great club will be delivered into at the end of this season. It'll be sad, there'll be tears, there'll be hand-wringing, but that, to me, is the way we're going. The lounge room, the locker room, whatever the hell we call it, has been brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, by Sweetie behind the camera, by Jay Fott to this side, and by Dougie to this side. I'm Greg Blake. We will see you on Sunday at the Village. Whoa, rock and roll. See you later.
I'm going home with her still knocks.